Yes, people, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned in to the Reggae PodClash.
Yay!
Oh. Yes, Mr. Clive Hunt is on the show with us today, or at least we think so.
Yes.
And we're going to jump right into the show. We have this new segment called News. And so we're going to start off by the news isn't amazing news, but Devin, go ahead and take it.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, we all in the reggae world know that Bunny Wailer passed away yesterday. And U-Roy, the great DJ originator, passed away, I think 2 Thursdays ago. I think it was the day after we did, because we had Johnny Clark on, and we were talking about U-Roy.
Right.
And I think he passed away like even after the show happened or something, or during later on that night. But man, it's two heavy losses. All losses are heavy, especially when it comes to what we love, Jamaican music. But we're talking about two foundational pieces of reggae music. Bunny Wailer, of course, founding member of the Wailers with Bob Marley and Peter. I think, all three of it, Bunny, Peter, and Bob, all three of them were amazing in their own ways, and a lot of overlapping talent, right? Obviously songwriting and singing. But I think that for me, and this is no slight to the other two, but I think Bunny objectively probably had the best voice, just from a pure like technical singing standpoint, like what his voice could do. And I know he was so much more than a backup singer, but he's one of the greatest backup singers of all time. When you listen, especially in that, the Lee Perry era, Bunny Wailer's vocals, the way him and Peter would sing together, and they all were, like when Bunny would take lead or Peter would take lead and Bob would be singing backup, the way they would sing harmonies, not just their blend, but like there's some of their, like, they would have these intricate parts, and you listen to Bunny and all the notes he's hitting, and it's just like,
right. It's
amazing, man. And I don't know if you ever had a chance to see Bunny live. I saw him on a couple occasions, and just, never disappointed. It was always.
Yeah, we did a summer jam festival in France somewhere, and so I got to see him. But it's a festival kind of thing, where it is what it is. It still was great. He still had it, and he had a unique voice, just like you said. I think with any group, you have the lead singer, you would call it, but like the Temptations, you have someone like Eddie Kendricks. That the group is not the same without all of its parts. And so Bunny was definitely a crucial part for sure.
And a great songwriter. I sang some songs on my songbook sessions last night, and just, man, Bunny just had some tunes. And then U-Roy, of course, was, a lot is made about U-Roy and how he originated the DJ style. He wasn't the first, but he really turned it into what it became, and he was the first to really have hits, recording. And a lot is made about that leading to hip hop, which it did. But I think when people talk about that narrative of how U-Roy is like the father of hip hop, it sells him a little short for how dope his stuff was. Like you listening to U-Roy records from any era, but especially, from when he started for the next 10 years, just his style was amazing, because a lot of people copied it. That kind of like, I was playing my dad some U-Roy because he wasn't super familiar with him, so I was trying to like describe it, and then I was like, let me just play it for you. And his cadence and the way he would, it was kind of all over the place, but still structured,
right?
But free, and his lyrics and just everything about his style was so dope in and of itself that even if it hadn't caught on, and even if he hadn't, sparked a genre of music that changed Jamaica and then went on to change global music, which is all true, even if that hadn't happened, he still would have been such a dope artist, because his stuff is so good.
I think that when it got to him, he was one of the OGs, but before him, you had like Count Machuki and, Cosmic and King Stitt. And that was great, because you got this ball that kind of started to roll. But as soon as U-Roy took over, that was the blip. That was like, okay, now this is the standard. And of course, every DJ after that was looking up to, Daddy U-Roy.
Exactly. And I got to tell a quick story. So the Expanders backed Leonard Dillon in 2006 in LA, and we were supposed to, and you played that show with us, and as you remember, we were supposed to back Leonard and U-Roy at that show.
Yeah.
And we learned U-Roy's whole set of music, but then, as so often happens with Jamaican artists trying to come to the U.S. He had some visa issues. He didn't end up playing the show, so we didn't perform with U-Roy, which was a big bummer. We still had a great time playing with Leonard, obviously. But then fast forward to the next year, where we played at Sierra Nevada World Music Festival, backing Leonard again. But U-Roy was on the bill. And at Sierra Nevada, they put all the artists up. This is a music festival for anybody who doesn't know. In Northern California, it's long been one of the best, if not the best, reggae music festival. And they put all the artists up in this hotel. It's like a motel. It's nothing special, It's like a Motel 6. It's not a Motel 6, but it's like that, like any motel you've ever been to. And you like the lobby serves as also like the breakfast room, And we would trip out because you would go just like anybody who's been on tour knows, you get up, go to the lobby, there's some continental breakfast, whatever. And so you just do that. Everything's the same, but you walk in and there's like the Mighty Diamonds sitting there, and U-Roy is just like sitting there, like eating a muffin, like talking to Leonard Dillon, right? And we're just like sitting there eating our cornflakes and hard-boiled eggs and stuff, and just like, this is U-Roy, and so we just like, and we all kind of like, we didn't want to fan out too much, but as we walked out, we all, were like, U-Roy, like, yes. And, he gave us like a little, so that was like my only personal U-Roy interaction, but we always talk about that. Just
nice.
The motel breakfast with,
like,
with
we
the
shared a muffin together. We were at the orange juice station together.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
So, big up Bunny Wailer, big up U-Roy. Thank you so much for everything you did. It's cliche to say, but like so many cliches, it's cliche because it's true. Your music will live on forever. And we just, thank you for making our lives better because of what you did. Some other quick pieces of news. Reggae Rise Up Florida has been moved to October 2021. It's happening. It's a great lineup. Damian Marley, our friends Giant Panda, Fortunate Youth, Slightly Stupid, The Movement, who have all been on the show with us. My boys The Best are playing. I got to shout them out. Great lineup. Go check it out. Reggae Rise Up Florida is happening October 2021. It's a great festival. Expanders played it a couple times. It was always one of the more fun festivals. So everybody go check that out. And also we want to acknowledge that this is Women's History Month. Yes. And Rootfire has a series called Women in Reggae. It's an ongoing series, not just for this month. We're always doing it. But this month, we'll be sharing interviews that we've done throughout the month. And the most recent interview by our own Kayla Kush with the artist Soom T, who's a great artist. That was published on Monday. You can go check it out at rootfire.net. Stay tuned to rootfire.net. We've always got great articles coming out, and this month we're going to be sharing lots of our interviews we've done with women in reggae. Roger, I know you got some news for us.
Yes, we got some birthdays. We got some birthday boys. Burning Spear's birthday was on March 1st.
Mm-hmm. My favorite.
And so, yeah, I feel like February, it kind of, okay, you got Dennis Brown, you got Bob Marley, but Burning Spear, geez, you got three heavyweights within the course of a zodiac sign or whatever the heck, you know what I mean? And then, of course, my hero legend, keyboard king, Mr. Jackie Matu, even though he's no longer with us, his birthday is today, March 3rd.
Nice.
And Jackie shares his birthday with the great Junior Francis. Junior is a huge personality here in Los Angeles. And if you've been to any show in LA, you've seen Junior, you know about Junior. I don't think anybody can introduce an artist as well as Junior Francis. And he's a great guy, awesome DJ.
There's a meme that I shared today. That's a picture of Junior. It says, "Walk into the world like Junior Francis is announcing you on stage."
It's so true. Yeah. It's so true. I think he was introducing Ken Booth one time, and I actually remembered a line. He said something like lambs to the slaughter, and I don't even know where. Obviously, he was going somewhere positive with that, but that line was in there, like lambs to the slaughter, and then he made sense of it, obviously. But he's such a G when he's on the mic, and he's a great dude. So yeah, those are the birthdays. For this month.
I also saw that it's Tommy McCook's birthday today too.
No kidding. Are you serious?
While you were about 5 minutes before, we were doing a little prep, and I I just looked on my Instagram and someone posted about today being Tommy's birthday.
Crazy.
So that's not sourced. That's based on one Instagram post. So if
I'm
wrong,
okay.
We'll find out who it is.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a Tommy McCook, just not the Tommy McCook.
Right. Some Tommy McCooks.
Yeah.
Well, that's our new segment.
That's our new segment. And yeah, we got a couple other cool new segments that we're going to do later on the show. But we're going to go to one of our OG segments that we do every single show. And this is Record of the Week. This week, I'm going first. And the record I want to play for you guys is a tune called Copycat by The Clan. Listen to the voices in this record. If you listen to Jamaican music, you'll definitely recognize the voices. It's 3 different dudes that in their own right are superstars. So we'll talk more about it afterwards. Play the tune.
You know, you out in the London town. Hi! Reggae pop up the charts. Soul gone. Also, Mr. G, Mr. B, and Mr. B. But not we. Because we are here to serve. Whoa!
There was a telephone ring at the end of that song. If you listen really closely, it's kind of crazy. So I felt this was a really cool song to play this week because last week we talked briefly about skinhead reggae, and I don't want to get in that conversation. However, this is an example of reggae that was recorded in the UK around that time, 1969, and it's also a really cool example of Jamaican dudes acknowledging of what's going on. So they say, you know, it happened in London town, reggae hit the chart, them a copy me.
Nice.
And so I'm assuming them a copy me is like, you know, this kind of like tongue-in-cheek thing of like, okay, now that some of, you know, the UK musicians want to copy what Jamaicans doing or the vibe or whatever, you know. And the other cool part of it is that you have 3 dudes that on their own are Jamaican superstars. You have Stranger Cole, Owen Gray, and Derek Morgan.
The Clan.
And they formed the Clan, which I've never, you know, come across another record or song by that. And if you listen to the tune, it just has this kind of like chill, party-ish environment, like really like one take kind of thing. So, man, you know, when we were going to have Derek on the show, I mean, you know, we still might someday, but this was definitely something that I wanted to ask him about because it's just cool. You never see that, you know, and so the backing band's the Rudies, aka the Des All-Stars, and the Music Doctors, which is 3 different names of backing bands that appear on the UK reggae labels over and over. So essentially, you know, what we're learning here is that it really is 2, 3 at the most different backing bands that assume the role of 15 to 20 different names, you know, that are showing up on Palma Records and all these other subsidiary labels.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just a really cool tune. It has a nice groove to it. I think they do a great job of capturing, you know, the whole Jamaican swing vibe. And, yeah, man, I'm into it. I love playing this one.
It's heavy. I love the Bullet label.
Yeah.
It's always great music, but just the way the label looks.
Totally.
It's just so dope.
Oh, yeah. I got the comic book Bullet vibe to it. And you know, like, you know you're going to get something good. Like, I don't really, you know, there's certain labels where you're like, oh, yeah, there's some really good stuff on this label, but then you learn quickly, oh, there's some crap, too. But the Bullet, you're pretty safe. Like, you know, I can imagine back in the day digging through, and if you see a Bullet, just take it.
Boom.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember what's on the flip side of this record?
Yeah, there's a, I think the song's called Hot Lead by Bunny Lee All-Stars.
All right.
Yeah, and it's a cool instrumental, too. You know, these records, I think this one's, you know, not the cheapest of records, but when you get a double-sider like that, obviously, you know, they're more expensive. And this was definitely one of those you know, double hitters where you could, you know, usually, you know, if you collect, you know, the majority of records will have a really good song on one side and then maybe a sleeper on the other side that you don't really play or, you know. But this one's a double-sider for sure.
And did you say what year this was?
This is 69 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 1969.
Yeah, so it's like before dub, obviously, you know. So like on the flip side, you're not getting a version. You're getting some kind of nice other tune, but often an instrumental.
Right.
Right, wouldn't you say? B-sides were often, especially in this era, because the organ instrumentals and stuff were hits in and of themselves. Yeah,
definitely. It would be sometimes the B-side would be better than the A-side. So
for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. What do you got this week for us?
All right. I am flash forwarding to the 80s, still early 80s, but this is a tune by an artist named Steve Knight. That took me a long time to figure out that this artist was Steve Knight, because I had this... Well, I'll just play the tune, but this is a tune that I tried to find for a long time, and there was a long gap between me hearing it and me actually finding out who it was and getting the tune. So we'll talk about it on the flip side. This is Steve Knight with Robberman.
Robberman, they juke me down. Robberman, they juke me down. Dedicated to a rubber man in town. Coming from work one Monday night, all alone on the lonely road. 3 rubber men, they juke me down. Straight me to my waist, one stab me in my face. Oh God, blood run right down to my waist. These rubber men, they rap simple things with M16 and Bushmaster. Kill the baby and the baby mother. Shoot the shopkeeper for a pound of flour. Say them a murderer. Why boy? Say them a murderer. Why boy? From that day, robber is my enemy. From that day, robber is my enemy. I have to go and join the army, 'cause them a murderer. Why boy? Say them a vampire. Why boy? Stand the leader door. Why? Stand down the leader door. Why? 3 days after they come to me, say Stevie, I'm really sorry. We didn't know you're the super in the area. Oh no, in the area. Oh no. But them the rapper man a murderer. Them the rapper man a murderer. Hey rapper man, why do you rap simple things, boy? Tangly boy, tangly why? These rapper man don't play around. Kick off your door if you call a TV. Give out your own mattress. Them no know what them a go do with it. Oh no. Rubber man try to have some conscience. Rubber man try to have some patience. People work innocently. All you do is wait on payday. Deal with badness and rude foes. Kick them in them face. Take away all their money. Leave them pick if you dead be hungry. Say you a murderer. Why? Yes, you a murderer. Why? Jah know I have to join the army. Robber man, them are my enemy. Jah know I have to join the army. Cause robber man, them are my enemy. Cause them a murderer. Why? Them a vampire. Boy. Coming from work one Monday night, all alone on a lonely road. 3 robber man, they took me down. Take my jewelry and all my money. One drape me to my waist, one stab me to my face. You should see the blood run right down to my waist. Oh Lord, it's a big disgrace, boy. I've got to join the army. I've got to join the army. From day robber is my enemy. With M16 and Bushmaster.
Heavy. Steve Knight, Robberman. So that song was on I said early 80s. No, it's 1986. I always forget it's that late because by 1986, yeah, because by 1986, that rhythm is not from 1986. By 1986, Jamaica was in full digital effect. That's why I always forget that was. I feel like it's early 80s because the rhythm is. Anyway, there's so much about that song that I love. I had that tape, that song on a tape from Roger Steffens, called Assorted Jamaican Singles, where like the songs on that tape became like the cornerstone of my reggae collection. Like I would seek out, because I didn't have there was no track listing. It was just like a tape that I had. So I had to like find out all these songs. And that was one. And Steve Knight is kind of an obscure dancehall artist. He's got tunes for sure, like a bunch of stuff, but I just really I'd never heard of him. You got to dig deep to get into Steve Knight. And shout out my boys 4-piece band from Guam. They actually have a song where they reference Steve Knight in the tune.
Cool.
But so I heard it and I was like, is that Barrington? No, I don't think it is. And I would like look, and Barrington has a tune called Robberman, you know? So I was like, oh, and then no, that wasn't it. And so I tried to find it. Finally, I don't know how I found it, on some forum or whatever. So I finally found it. It's over the classic world of reggae or world of music rhythm that most people nowadays know as the Welcome to Jamrock rhythm, right? The doom, 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 doom. Out in the street, they call it murder, right? That's what people know it as nowadays. That's my favorite vocal track over that rhythm. I just think it's such a dope song. The lyrics it's just like it's classic Jamaican songwriting. It's a story. He says, coming from work one Monday night, all alone on the lonely road, 3 robber men and joke me down. They take my jewelry and all my money. They say that, they beat the baby and the baby mother, shoot the shopkeeper for a pound of flour. And then there's this one, he's telling the story, and then there's one part, he goes, kick them in them face. Like that's the line, kick them in them face, and they just dub it out. He's just telling how they just all got beat down by these robbers. And then he says, from that day, robber is my enemy. I have to go join the army. He's like, I'm going to go join the army just so I can find these robber men.
Right.
So I love that tune. Every time that came out on that tape, I would just be like, oh, I got to find this song.
Heck yeah.
It's such a heavy one, man. And it's like, we talked about this with Freddie about how like slow tunes don't like do so well in the dance nowadays, but like there was a time when they did. And that's one song where it's like, it's so tough that like I've tried to play it before. I'm like, no, like I don't care. People are gonna like this. And it just kind of flops because maybe I'm not a good enough DJ I don't put it in the right place or whatever, but just, people don't get into slow music. But
It's so heavy that you would think it over, like, I get the tempo side of it.
Right.
But the bass, when you hear that, like, on some really good speakers, it's like, dude, how could people not move? You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
and they obviously do, because there's other hits over that rhythm, you know, like Welcome to Jam Rock. I mean, Jam Rock has some added production, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
a good bass line's a good bass line. I mean, Jamaican music is that's a huge ingredient, is the drum and bass. So yeah, that boom doom doom, the space that's in the bass, you can't go wrong with that, you know.
Kick them in them face. That's heavy. I love it. And then it all goes, they do rhythm for a second. Mm-hmm. I got to join the army.
Nice.
Heavy. Yeah. I love, like, even today, like, I never get sick of that song. When I was digitizing it today for the show, I was like, I just kept listening to it.
Right.
It's so good. When you were doing your thing pre-show, and I was just like kind of sitting here waiting for Clive, I was like just hitting that. I was listening to it. I was like, the version's heavy, just heavy rhythm.
Nice.
Yeah.
My thing pre-show, you mean my yoga?
When you do your yoga meditation.
I do yoga back here in the studio. Yeah. It's a studio, but not a music studio. It's a yoga studio.
There's a lot that goes into this emotionally.
Yeah, I got,
you know,
behind the camera, there's a big the big ball, you know, the aerobics ball and yoga mats. I get into it.
That's good. Well, so that was our record of the week segment, and we want to tell you guys real quick about a couple things. Our merch store is up, and you can go to rootfire.net and click on the store tab. And we have hoodies like the one you see me wearing every week. We have mugs like the ones you see us drinking out of every week. We got shirts, hats, beanies, all kinds of nice stuff. Go check it out, rootfire.net. Click on the store tab. This is a nonprofit show, but there are some expenses, and so we pay them when you guys buy merch. And if you just want to support and help us pay for these expenses, you can also make a donation through PayPal or Venmo. Just the contact is at Rootfire. So please do that. And then, very quickly, we want to mention that we are also, let me get rid of this slide here. We are giving away we've started giving away records so far, courtesy of VP Records. We got to big up VP Records, Carter at VP. We've been giving away records, and right now we are giving away. Mr. Clive Hunt has released an album called Blue Lizzard. And according to VP, it's an instrumental horns record. And according to VP, Blue Lizzard is the first reggae instrumental album of its kind to come out of Jamaica since the heyday of Channel One and Joe Gibbs and the Rico Rodriguez, Man from Warwick stuff. It's all horns. So it's not necessarily a dub record. It's a horns record, and it features original compositions and some classic adaptations. And it's all arranged by Mr. Hunt. So we're giving that away. Yes. So you can enter it in the description on the YouTube page. Go down to the below, and you'll find a link to enter the contest. And you have to enter. You have until this Friday night at 11:59 p.m. So when Saturday comes, it's too late. Go sign up and enter right now to win a copy of Clive Hunt's new LP, Blue Lizzard.
Blue Lizzard. Yeah.
Listen to it. Win a copy. Courtesy of VP. Big up VP.
Big up. Yeah, I love those instrumental albums. A favorite of mine is State of Emergency, Joe Gibbs and the Professionals.
Ooh, yeah.
That's like, wow, back in the day when I wasn't even listening to like 70s reggae and I was just like all ska, Rude Boy. Like I would still listen to that record, that was. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. You just put it on and it's just kind of like, it sets a tone, there's just all instrumental dope.
And there's a Lee Perry produced album featuring Vin Gordon called Musical Bones.
Oh,
that didn't get a reissue when it was produced in the 70s, but it was reissued in about 10 years ago or so. And yeah, same deal, same kind of thing. Yeah. It's very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the obstacles, one of the hurdles you encounter sometimes when you're doing a show where you can't be in the same physical space with somebody is, you don't really know what's going on their end. Could be technical issues, could be there, in Jamaica, I know there's a curfew. But anyway, unfortunately, Clive Hunt, we've been waiting this whole time for him to join us, and he has not been able to join us yet. So we are going to assume that he will not be joining us tonight, which is a huge bummer. I hope he's okay. I feel that it's just some sort of technical issue happening.
Right.
But we will try to get him back on at some point, but we in the past when this has happened, thankfully, I think, what is this, episode 31, 32? This has only happened once or twice, like I think twice before.
Yeah.
And when we didn't hear from the artist, we would just say, you know what, we're going to make an announcement that we're not going live. But tonight we wanted to go live, largely to talk about Bunny Wailer and you, Roy, and just play some music. And it feels like a good time to be in a reggae space, and to give Clive some time to come on. It might have been some confusion, but it doesn't look like he'll be joining us tonight, unfortunately.
Right. And Devin also wanted to talk to me, and I wanted to talk to Devin, so we decided to come on and do this live anyways.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I don't get to talk to Devin all that much.
I never miss an opportunity to talk to Roger. It's a special thing.
Yeah.
It's a special thing.
Special thing. But we're definitely going to go into another segment that is new, just like our news segment. And this segment is called the Shoutouts. Dun, da, da, da. This is where, we want to mention some really cool reoccurring shows, reoccurring segments that we totally back here at the Reggae PodClash. I mean, a lot of these aren't only friends of ours, but it's just we love what they're doing, and we definitely want to give them a shout out. So we got the Cali Roots Radio, Eric Rockmani and Irie Dan. They're playing reggae from all eras. It's every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Joint.
Sheehan.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. On the Joint, channel 722 on the SXM app. That's a lot of channels, 722. I stop at 140. We got songs from scratch. Our boy Nate Feinstein, we're actually going to be on this show, and it's a really cool thing he does. And he works with artists, and they kind of they write a song on the spot together. So me and Devin, do you know the date, Devin, by any chance?
Off the top of my head, I don't. That's a fail. But go check out Nate Feinstein. Check out his songs from scratch, and we're going. It's in April. I think it's late April that we're coming on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we write a song from scratch. It's a really cool thing that he's doing. It's really really cool, man.
You know what? I'm just gonna look at my calendar, and I know it's there somewhere. It's got to pop up, unless it doesn't. We are the 12th. It's Friday, the 12th of March. Me and Devin will be on the show, so don't miss that. I'm really looking forward to writing some cool music. It's the next hit. It's the next jam rock. Next shout out, Mr. Clinton Fearon. He does some really cool shows and segments. Two of them. He has one called A Sunday with Clinton Fearon and another one called A Talk with a Friend. So please go follow him, Clinton Fearon Music, on Facebook, and his Instagram at Clinton Fearon. Now we're going to go into a little more of the local stuff here in Los Angeles. Some of the following things we got going on here pertain to LA and the LA reggae scene. History of LA Ska, celebrating SoCal's ska and reggae scene. Eric Kohler and the Rockery Radio, they're doing a really cool thing. They got some really cool guests coming on and really cool conversations going on there. Chuck Foster's Reggae Central, it's a total staple. This is like... me and Devin owe Chuck like so much.
That's true, man.
I don't even know how much he's groomed my musical taste.
I definitely heard, just go down the list. So many artists I heard for the first time on Chuck Foster's show. He is, he's a legend here in LA. You can listen to it on kpfk.org if you don't live in LA. And can't find it on 90.7 FM. Listen to Reggae Central. Also, Mr. Junior Francis, whose birthday it is today. Yeah. His reggae show is every Saturday night from 8 to 11 p.m. on KXLU.com. And, of course, tonight, after you log out of this show, go watch the Dub Club doing their thing every Wednesday night from 9 to 12. You can watch it at twitch.tv/dubclubla. And those are our shout-outs. Big up everybody working in reggae music. Roger... I know you got some cool stuff coming up. What you got coming up?
Yeah, man. I'm always busy. I'm always working with things here and there. I got this project. I probably mentioned it before on the show. Gil Miggs Raj. And we just released a song with Fortunate Youth, and it's called Fortune Cookie. How appropriate. All right. Really cool collaboration. It's like a production super team working with Miguel and Gil. and it's really cool because we just get to reach out to some of our favorite artists and get them to collaborate with us. So go check that out on Spotify. Gil, Miggs, and Raj. And Devin, what do you got?
Well, something that's not even on the list here, but I just got the test pressings in for my new record, so I'm super stoked. It sounds great. So we're working on the release date, just getting a nice date set to figure. We don't know exactly when the full pressing of the album will be in hand, but we're working on a date. But it's nice to hear it, like it exists. It's on vinyl, sounds really nice. I'm really, really happy about it. Got to big up Roger, because Roger co-produced and mixed and engineered the whole thing. So right there in Roger's studio that you see, that background is where the album was recorded. So I'm just really happy about that. It's called Man-like-devin, Wheel and Shoulder, Acoustic Reggae, Rocksteady, and Ska, Volume 1. Really, really stoked on it. Every Tuesday, you can hear me play songs from that album and from the Expanders catalog and from the vast catalog of Jamaican music that exists. You can watch it right here at rootfire.net/TV. It's called Songbook Sessions every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Also, you can take a songwriting, vocal, or guitar lesson with me. Just hit me up on the social medias or go to backstagemusiclessons.com. And please follow me on Twitch, because we're going to do a DJ party with all these vinyls. Instagram kicks you off when you DJ. Facebook, YouTube, they kick you off. But Twitch don't kick you off. That's why Dub Club going on tonight is on Twitch. And I'm on Twitch too. I'm waiting. I'm almost there. I'm waiting to get to 30 followers on Twitch. It's slowly climbing.
I want to get you in the, what I'm going to do, and I don't want to segue it back to me, but you're talking about DJing.
Yeah, I saw this.
And I don't have an answer for the DJ live thing, right? Because that's its own thing. And that really is its own thing, because you're interacting with people.
Its own chicken, if you will.
Its own chicken, if you will. Is that a chicken thing in the back right there?
This is a chicken, if you will.
This is. I see your chicken back there. That's your chicken. What I'm going to do is more along the lines of an archive. That's a lonely chicken. It's more of like an archive thing. So it's going to be taped and pre-recorded and then uploaded. So it's not a live thing. And I think that, there'll still be some restrictions. I plan to put on YouTube and whatnot. But I think where it's restricted isn't like in the U.S. as much. I've gone through some of that stuff already, and I haven't had problems with the U.S. I know they restrict it in some countries.
There is a service now that allows you to put up everything completely legit. It's called Mixcloud, which has been around for a long time, but you can actually even live stream, but everything you upload to it, they actually pay out royalties to artists, even based on you putting up a mix. It's so you can. Wow. I'm looking into that. The problem with Mixcloud right now is that like nobody follows anybody on it. So you go live, you're not going to get any viewers. Right. But they're set up. They have like cracked the code of like allowing people to go live and play music that they themselves do not own the copyrights to. So I watched a whole YouTube video about this DJ, kind of reviewing the new Mixcloud thing, and that was the con. He was like, nobody is on it, but in terms of the functionality and the legality of it, it's dope. Twitch, I think, is more unofficial. They just like don't kick you off, which is why a lot of DJs are using it now.
Right.
But Mixcloud's a good thing to look into if you're trying to upload mixes and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. All right, everybody. Please, if you have any news items or anything you want to share with us, please email us at thereggaepodclash@gmail.com. Also, check out the website, thereggaepodclash.com. Don't forget to go get some merch at rootfire.net. Please like and subscribe and rate and review the podcast, because this is not only a live stream, this is a podcast. So go, we're trying to, our goal is to like get it so when you go onto Apple Podcasts and you just type in reggae, we're the first thing that comes up, and that it really helps if you subscribe and review and rate and do all those things. So please do. Until next time, we'll get Clive Hunt on here again for sure. I know definitely. It was just some technical difficulties, but it was nice to see you, Raj. It was nice to talk to everybody else, and we will see you all very soon. Peace.